A suspected illegal school housed in a former Manchester nightclub is teaching children conspiracy theories. For example, that dinosaurs never existed and that viruses are not real. It's called Universal Kidz with a Z at the end of it. It's a school set up by former teacher Ladan Ratcliffe and it educates 13 pupils. But the students are not taught the national curriculum and are instead taught a bespoke course riddled with endless conspiracy theories, all in order to defy what they describe as the plot against humanity. An undercover reporter from The Times spent a month working as a teacher there. Joining me now to tell us a little more about this is the education editor at the Sunday Times, Sian Griffiths. Sian, so good to see you on the programme. Can you explain how these small schools get to operate kind of outside the aegis of the education authority and to teach an utterly sort of ungoverned and uncontrolled syllabus of that kind?
Yeah, well, this is an eye-popping investigation by Tom Bell at the Times. As you say, he went undercover for a month in this suspected illegal school, which has between 13 and 28 pupils, depending on, when it's being looked at. And the reason that these suspected illegal schools can operate is that we have incredibly weak legislation around children who are being so-called homeschooled. And we now have tens of thousands of children after the pandemic who have been taken out of mainstream state schools by their parents and are being homeschooled. And there have been hundreds, I think, of schools and organisations set up to support parents to do this. Now, this suspected illegal school in Stockport in Greater Manchester says on its website that it is supporting homeschooled parents. The thing is, depending on how many children they have, how many hours a day they operate, they can be operating with no requirement to be regulated, to be inspected, and can actually just, go about their business. If they are teaching more than a certain number of hours a week and they have more than 5 pupils, then they should be inspected. They should be regulated. Inspectors should go in and make sure that children are getting, a broad and balanced education, which clearly the children in this school are not.
So tell us a little bit about what your undercover reporter found. What was being taught in this school? Because it actually boggles the mind. The more we find out about it, the more extraordinary it really is. What were children being taught in this little school?
It is completely eye-popping. So the article opens with children standing hand in hand around a pile of crystal pyramids. And they're told that these pyramids have energy that can cure serious illnesses, could flow into their body. Tom worked alongside colleagues who thought that dinosaurs had never existed. And like one of the key things that the children were being taught was how to resist this great conspiracy theory that the government and other organizations are in league to kind of depopulate and enslave the population. So children were being taught things like how to forage, how to find their own medicines, how to survive and, resist this great conspiracy theory that's, apparently going to enslave them all.
And Sian, do we imagine that the parents who decided to send their children there did it deliberately, knowing that they would be taught this kind of thing because they share those beliefs and they wanted those beliefs substantiated and incorporated into their children's education? Or do we think they sent them there believing it would be a sort of national curriculum and not really realising what was going on?
It's really difficult to know. These schools that are popping up all over the place after the pandemic, because we have this huge rise of children being pulled out of mainstream schools, it's really hard to know why parents are sending them there and what they think they are getting. Some of them are quite religious schools, they're teaching quite strict orthodox faith curricula. Others are, completely nuts like this one. And I don't know whether parents are just at their wits' end. Maybe their child's been expelled from school. They have to work anywhere that will take a child, for a few hours a day. This school apparently is charging £30 a day for a child. Maybe parents just don't know. This school was saying it was a support for homeschool parents. Maybe parents just don't know what their children are being taught in some of these establishments and are so desperate that, they're not able to thoroughly check that their children are getting taught those subjects like maths and English that they really are going to need qualifications in if they're going to have any chance of a successful future themselves.
And final
I mean, I
question,
think-
Tom. Now
yeah.
that it is known what is being taught at that school, will it be closed down? Will there be some kind of Ofsted inspection? Will it be allowed to continue to teach this kind of a thing now it's been exposed? Or will this mean that very quickly the school will be closed down?
Well, some of these schools get closed down and then pop up in another place with a different name, saying that they're not doing more than the set number of hours that you need to teach to actually have to register. Ofsted has said it will go in, the school inspectorate has said it will go in and look at this school now. It is alarmed at the Times' report. But I think what we really need, and the government has been so slow to act on this, we need a register of all home educated children. We don't even know who they are, what's happening to them. We need a register so that every one of those children who is being homeschooled is known to the authorities so that proper checks can be made on not only what they're being taught, but how safe they are. Some of these illegal schools are in really dangerous and dodgy premises, where there are health and safety hazards. So, the government has been saying it's going to do this for such a long time, but it still hasn't delivered.